Hi, Reggie Mara back speaking about healing America's narratives, the feminine, the masculine, and our collective national shadow, book which came out in late 2022. I want to speak a little bit today about some interviews I've been doing on podcasts and radio stations. And there are quite a variety of stations and podcasts. Some are more kind of left-leaning or considered more liberal. Some are rather conservative. And what's interesting, what I'm discovering as I speak about the book, which is neither, which can't be lumped into being a liberal book or a conservative book, because my own view tends to be transpartisan. I'm an unaffiliated voter. I don't belong to either political party. And there's some value in some conservative, healthy conservative viewpoints and healthy liberal viewpoints. And there's not value in the unhealthy iterations of conservatism or liberalism. And what I'm discovering in the conversations, some of which are small towns, small AM radio stations, some of which are larger cities, but more small towns, and especially those that describe themselves as having a listening audience that are Christian and more conservative, that the interviews go really well. And most of these folks, whether they're liberal stations or conservative, have not read the entire book. I don't think I've been interviewed by anyone who has actually read the entire book yet. But they do get a press kit and they can go online and get some more information about it. But when I speak about, or when we speak about gun violence in America, when we speak about the polarization and the dysfunction in the United States Congress, when we speak about the lack of access to affordable health care for all Americans, when we speak about the frightening levels of anxiety and depression and even suicidal ideations among our young, and especially our young women, and when we speak about a society that tends to, if you look at it in terms of mainstream America that we see through the media, it really tends to value money and things over people. And other, talking points that we address, with virtually no exceptions, the folks on the more right-leaning Christian conservative stations and the folks who are more left-leaning, not particularly identified with Christianity, and more liberal stations, they all agree. Now, they don't agree on how each of these issues needs to be addressed, but they all agree on, virtually all of them, not every single individual, they agree on that these problems exist and they need to be addressed. I had one conservative host who was actually, asked me some great questions, asked me my thoughts on, resolving the issues of the southern border, says one example. And I kind of laughed and said, well, if I knew how to do that, I would have done it already, whatever resolving it means. And we wouldn't be talking today because I would have been made so much money because of my brilliance, I would have been retired. But then he asked me to connect the problems with the southern border of the United States with Hunter Biden and China. And I said, I don't know that there's any connection between the southern border of the United States, Hunter Biden, and China. And he just moved on to the next question. So I'm not sure where he got that. I have a sense where he got that information from to ask a question like that, but he didn't push it. I wasn't clear that he really thought there was a connection, but he figured he would ask a guy that wrote a big, thick book. So the point being, the more we can move away from generalizations and name calling and just have a conversation, well, what do you feel we need to do about gun violence? What should we do about getting equal access to affordable health care for all Americans? What needs to be done in order to, stop this horrible move toward anxiety, depression, and suicide among our young people and some of our old people too? We can really have some good conversations once we move away from finger pointing and blaming, because none of the issues we face in this country was caused by one political group. Some issues were caused by one or the other, and maybe I'll speak about that in subsequent episodes. But as long as we stay stuck in, trying to, win the turf wars of the United States Congress, the country that we refer to as the United States of America will continue to suffer, no doubt. Right? If you need any more evidence and you haven't read the book, read the book. If you need more evidence and you have read the book, get in contact with me. We can have a conversation. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you the next time.